Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got for you another sort of haul-torial. I did one when I went to the States and what I picked up with that stuff, and I thought basically it's not really a tutorial, it's me putting it on my face. As you can see, I've got a complete blank canvas for you today. But yeah, this is basically everything I've bought since the summer. There's been a few beauty launches. Basically it's either stuff that is new, stuff that's new to me, or even repurchases. So there are a few repurchases in here. Right, I'm going to put my hair up and I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to pop some products on my face. If you see any cornflakes in my teeth, I'm sorry, I've just eaten some, so there is a very real chance that there is cornflakes in my teeth because I can feel them there, but whether you can see them or not, just I'll be ahead of the game, let you know. I'm going to start with actually a colour corrective product. This is something that I got off ASOS but is available from Boots and other places, but this is where I got it from. I actually shop on ASOS. It's now called Face and Body, not Beauty. I shop on there quite a lot because I have premium delivery, so I get it next day, and they've actually got a really good selection, and I'm a student, so I get discount as well. I could talk about why I love premium delivery by ASOS till the end of time, and I might do. But anyway, right, so the product I'm talking about is NYX, and this is their orange corrector. I know I've mentioned it before, but I definitely have hereditary sort of dark circles. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get. If I get too much or too little, it doesn't really matter. Oh god, I got a gack in my eye. I've always sort of had these dark purpley colour dark circles on my eyes, so I decided to get a real hardcore colour corrector. I put it underneath even my foundation and concealer, so I'm really fine with it, doesn't show through. I haven't tried it over foundation. There we go, like it is orange, like that. It's not, they ain't playing. And yeah, I just sort of pop it all under here and then I leave it like that and then I go outside. No, I'm kidding. So far, like, although it's in a pot, like I am a little bit skeptical of sort of colour correctors that are in this sort of hard pot form, but actually this one's really nice, and it does blend really easily. Just pop it on your finger. The only issue is sort of like your hands stain a little bit orange for the rest of the time you're doing your makeup. This looks terrifying. This looks absolutely terrifying, but as you will see, it'll figure itself out. Speaking of figuring it out, let's do that right now. I've got two foundations. I bought these both on eBay and they are from Holika. In the West, you can get Holika skincare products. I don't even want to say readily available because I don't think that's the case, but their makeup is often really looked over. If you've been around these parts before, you may have heard me talk about a BB cream by Holika called the Pore Cover Sweet BB. It had a really weird name. I think they've discontinued it, which makes me so upset because that was probably my favourite foundation. It was £4. I ordered it from Korea on eBay and it just was phenomenal. But I'm pretty sure they've stopped doing it, so I thought I'd try. I think this is their newest foundation slash BB cream launch. It only comes in one shade, and funnily enough it fits my shade, and I don't think my skin's pretty pale, but it comes in 3 finishes. So I bought 2 of the 3 because the third one was moist and I don't want my skin looking moist. But I did get matte and glow, and what I'm going to do today is something that I haven't done, is mix them together. I think they're also SPF 30. I think they're definitely trying to look sort of like holiday sun cream, and they do have SPF factor in them. Also, I find it is best applied with your fingers. Boop, boop, boop. Both hands involved. Sorry, I've just moved a little bit closer because my back has been hurting. So if you're wondering why I've kind of like come in but gone away, that's, I did a little shuffle. Anyway, so next product I want to talk about, I actually got this on Beauty Bay. It is by Milani. It is their eyeshadow primer. Now the reason that I got this was simply because I was making a Beauty Bay order for something else, which you'll see later in the video, but I needed a new eyeshadow primer. I actually had one from NYX beforehand. It ran out and I enjoyed that one, but I wanted to try something new, and this one had pretty good results, and it being Milani, it's not that expensive. If you are in the UK, by the way, that's where you can get Milani, it's on beautybay.com. It says that it's colourless, but it says 01 nude on the back, and it is sort of almost like a yellowy skin tone colour. At least on my lids it doesn't show up as anything, but just thought I would mention that. I was like, oh, this colourless spark, and I'm like, it's funny because you also said there's a colour. Anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna pop this all over my eyelids. I am finding, because the one I was using before was sort of in a doe foot applicator, and this one is a sort of squeezy tube, that I am struggling to squeeze the right amount out. You really don't need that much. It really does sort of spread around quite nicely, but that's my own problem, that's not the product's problem. And also, just to talk about the colour corrector, you can kind of see it like where I've sort of like almost blended it into my lash line, which, spoiler alert, I'm going to be putting some orange eyeshadow on anyway, so that doesn't matter, but like underneath the eyes you really can't see it. And now I'm going to conceal another drugstore product. This is by L'Oreal. This is by who this is by, and this is the True Match Concealer. Now I have had their previous sort of doe foot applicator True Match Concealer. I am unsure if this is a new product or a repackaged product, or sort of, you know, with the True Match they sort of repackaged it and slightly reformulated it, but not really. I feel like this is probably the same. Anyway, I don't know if you remember, it was sort of like this big and circular. Now they've sort of made it bigger and longer, harder, better, faster, stronger, and it comes with a doe foot, and it's like a very flat doe foot. But yeah, I've used this a couple of times. I've actually taken this like in my bag just in case I wanted to like top up anything, and it's worked well for that, but I am going to use it sort of all over my face really. It is really, really creamy and smooth to pop on, which is nice. It is perfumed though. Like I haven't put it like underneath my nose yet and I can smell it. To be fair though, that BB cream has like got serious coverage. But yeah, as you can see, it's super duper blendable. I do think the drugstore is really good for concealers, to be honest with you. Yet again, I am going to revisit your attention back to the Corrector. You can't see it. I obviously can't speak for other correctors, although I have tried the Urban Decay ones and I really do like that one. I've tried the purple one. The NYX ones I'm pretty happy with. If you're putting them underneath foundation and concealer, then I think they work. Tea break. Oh. Cool, now I want to set my base, and I made a trip to Glossier. So I've actually done 2 Glossier orders. I want to talk about why. So basically Glossier launched in the UK in October. If you haven't read my blog post where I talk about all the other Glossier products that I don't have in this video, which are basically the ones that I picked up in the States, I reviewed both the phase 1 and the phase 2 kits, which are sort of their sort of better deal kits. One's for skincare, one's for makeup. Go have a read about what I think. I have also mentioned the products on my YouTube channel as well, but if you want to look specifically at Glossier stuff, that's a post I would direct you to. I do actually have one repurchase in this because it came in a set. Anyway, I'm going to set my face with the Wowder. I got the shade light medium. I didn't get the brush with it, which you can get a brush with it. It just didn't look like the type of brush that I'd want. I actually have found that I prefer using a duo fibre brush. This one's by Real Techniques, with this powder, because I have heard, although I haven't tried, I have heard the skin tint's really light, so I imagine this definitely does give coverage. So I found sort of with a light hand, because I often go to my sort of base products, like my foundation products for coverage, that I don't necessarily need as much coverage from my powder, so that's why I opt for the duo fibre. But yeah, it's also got sort of like a mesh thing, which I quite like, because I have some loose powders which I won't take out with me, or I won't like put in like a travelling makeup bag. They just get everywhere, whereas this one is similar to the Tarte one and the Chanel one, which has that sort of packaging. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I believe this comes, it's either in 3 or 5 colours. I think like the foundation and concealer come in 3 and the powder comes in, no, the foundation and concealer come in 5 and the powder comes in 3, I believe. So I've been using this powder for, I don't know, since October. Yeah, over a month I would say I've been using this powder, and I like it. It's weird because it's like when I first put it on, I almost feel like it's too much, which is strange because from Glossier that doesn't sound like the right type of thing, but it sort of does die down. But yeah, that's why I'm using sort of a duo fibre brush, and I do like to powder my whole face, so yeah. What I am going to do is, this is not a new product, but I didn't pick up a new setting spray. This is by Wet n Wild, and this is the Photo Focus. I found spraying that after I powder really does sort of like help, and I'm also going to be using some cream products as well over the top, which I know is a bit naughty, but hey ho. Anyway, so speaking of Glossier, so I said I made 2 orders. So the first order I made, I bought the Wowder, and they also had a duo. I think it was like just for summer, but not really just for summer, because I did it in October, which was the Haloscope and the Boy Brow for a discounted price. Now the Boy Brow comes in the phase 2 kit, so I'm actually going to be using my old one, the one that I've already got open, but I love that brow gel, so I was happy to buy another one, but it also came with a Haloscope. Now I got this in the colour Quartz. Yes, Quartz. Now I wish I got it in Moonstone, which was like, it basically looks white. I don't know, I thought, oh, like this nice champagne colour. I don't know what came over me. I should always just go for the palest of everything, and then it works for me. But I went for this, and it's sort of this creamy colour. It's alright, I'm not reaching for it as much. I don't know if it's because it's more of a summer product. But that being said, I reached for my Colourpop one, and that's sort of a cream, well, it's very much cream to powder. Anyway, so I've put a bit on my hand, on the back of my hand, and I'm going to put some on my fingers and then pop it on. Because I find going straight from the stick would just sort of disrupt everything we've just done. I just sort of like literally like draw a bunch over my hand, I don't know if you can really see, and then just dip my fingers in it. I think like on this side, because I've got the sun coming in, you really can sort of see that it's there, but it is really subtle. It's not, I wouldn't even compare it to say like my Colourpop one, or do you know what? I think it's actually really similar in blindingness scale to the Kevyn Aucoin Candlelight highlighter. I think it's called Candlelight, something like that. So yeah, you can definitely sort of see it now with the sun. But yeah, it's like similar to that, where it's like it's there, but in comparison to like some other products which are like you can see from outer space, it's not like that. So depending what you want is depending what you get. But then also, if you're shopping for Glossier makeup, I think I even mentioned this in the blog post, if you're shopping for Glossier makeup, you're not getting sort of that full face Instagram makeup look, which is fine. It's just, it's a different look, and I firmly believe it has a place on the market. Oh my god, you know when tea just gets to like the perfect temperature. Also from Glossier, I also got two, now this is my initial order, I also got two of the cloud paints. Again, this came in sort of like a bundle offer. I think Glossier are really good for that. They sort of have, as I mentioned, like I've got the phase 1 and phase 2 kits, but they also do have other like little bundles of stuff that, you know, work together, or are like, or you can get like multiple colours of one product and sort of mix them together and get them for a lower price. And also they're pretty reasonably priced anyway. It's not drugstore pricing, but it's a little bit more, and but it's certainly not high end. Anyway, as you can tell, I really like them. So the two colours I picked out the cloud paints were Beam and Dusk. So Beam is this top one here, which is sort of the orangey one, and Dusk is sort of the more almost like bronzer shade. It is sort of like this like neutral brown colour, but it gets better. So I also pre-ordered the fragrance. Where have I got it? Here it is here, I've put it all back in the packaging. I pre-ordered the fragrance, which is Glossier You. You got a little vial of it when you ordered it first of all, and I was like, do you know what, I am in the market for a new fragrance, and I do really like this one. It's sort of not too floral, not too sweet, not too sort of musky or anything. It just sort of smells like a nice person. So I pre-ordered that, and I don't know if it's because I pre-ordered it or something went wrong. I don't know, but I got another cloud paint, which I didn't order. There wasn't, one thing I have noticed is they don't have like order slips in their boxes, because I was a bit like, have I got somebody else's package? Like, is this just because like, bye. Is this, hang on. Is this like a gift because I pre-ordered or what? I don't really know. Anyway, so this is in the pink colour Puff. So I went from having no cloud paints to having 3/4 of the cloud paints. I believe there's only one other colour, which is like a purpley colour, which name is escaping me. Anyway, so I'm going to put these on my cheeks. What have we got? Right, so I'm going to take Dusk, and I'm going to sort of like pop it in the hollows of my cheeks. Again, similar to how I put the Haloscope on, I'm just sort of going to pop a bit on the back of my hand and sort of like mix it around and then pop it on my face. Yeah, sort of, now that I've put it out a bit more, you can sort of see it is this sort of, it's almost like, looks like a lip colour, to be honest with you. I should have got a fucking brush. Okay, so I've gone for a Sonia Kashuk duo fibre brush. You can't tell because all the brushes are, all the bristles are white, but it is a duo fibre one that I've gone for. Yeah, I quite like placing down with your fingers and just sort of finessing it with the brush. At the moment, because we've just got highlight and contour on, this does look very harsh, but we'll figure it out. I must admit, I haven't been reaching for these. Again, similarly to the Haloscope, I think because it's just sort of that time of year where I'm going for a lot of powder products and a heavier makeup look. Do you do that? In the summer I typically go for like lighter makeup, and in the winter I go for heavier makeup. Anybody else? Anybody else on that train? Yeah, so there's that blended in where it's sort of, well, I think that again on this side, because we've got the sun coming in, you can definitely sort of see it's definitely making my cheekbone pop. So the reason that I originally, oh my god, I thought I was sitting on this without the lid on. The reason that I originally got Beam was because I heard it's really good to mix with Dusk. So that's why I got those two together. But I'm half tempted to mix Beam and Puff. Yeah, that's what it's called. Oh my god. All these 4-letter words. So this is what I might actually do. I might mix them on the back of my hand. Again, they're called paints, so I feel like, you know, I mix paints. I mix paints. I've also got really light jeans on, which is, you know, silly on my part. Oh, that does make a really nice colour. So that is them sort of mixed. It's sort of like this peachy colour. Because like Beam definitely is like orange, and Puff is definitely pink. So, right. Again, I'm just going to use the same brush. the Sonia Kashuk one. And now I'm just going to rub it all into my hand. I have nice pink hands. Right, I'm going to move on to eyebrows. Now, first of all, I've got a repurchase. This is from Anastacia Beverly Hills. This is their powder brow duo, and I got it in the colour medium brown. Now, looking at it, I'm so certain that maybe I got soft brown beforehand, but this definitely looks like there's much more of a contrast, and the light is much lighter, and I think like the dark is more darker. I think that means I'm just going to mix it more, which is good, I suppose, because with the other one I used that one half like till it was gone and then it cracked and broke. Where's my makeup bag? There it is, with my brush in. Anyway, so this is a repurchase, and if I'm repurchasing it, I think that tells you that I rather like it. I have been using for a while the Naked 2 Basics palette because that's a really cool tone for my brows. I'm sort of literally just like sort of going in the middle and just getting a bit of both because why not, right? So I'm now going to be setting it with the brow gel by Glossier. Oh, I get the colour Brun as well, which is the brown colour. I don't understand how this eyebrow is like on camera looking so much more angry than this one. But it is. Hang on, I might put a bit more dark in the other one. Now, even still, this brow, I've just gone off camera. It still looks more angry, and honestly, they look fine. Anyway, right, moving on to eyes. Now, I have a brand spanking new product, not just to me, but to the world. It is the Huda Beauty Mini Obsession palettes. So think along the lines of MAC. I can get the big ones and you can get the little 9 ones. This is the same deal. This is the Warm Brown Obsessions palette. I mean, I don't know if you thought I'd get any others. There's 3 others in the pack. There's a smoky one, a bright coloured one, and a mauve one, I believe. I thought I would get my Textured Shadow Rose Gold Edition Huda palette out and show it next to it for reference. So in this you get 18 colours and you get 18 grams of product. If I'm correct, I did look at this last night. Yes, you get 18 grams of product, where in this you get 9 shadows and you get 10. So you actually, and this is £56 and this is 25. So actually buying the smaller ones works out cheaper than the big one, but this one obviously has like double the amount of the textured shadows, whereas these only, I think, have like 1 or 2 in. This one only has 1 of the textured shadows. Feel wise, the product works the same, but touch wise, these are harder. The matte colours are harder, whereas in this they're a little bit more creamy. So I don't know if they changed the formula, but they both blend really similarly. So anyway, so I'm going to be using this palette today, which is nice and cute. And I also got this off of Cult Beauty, but I am going to use this mirror because it's bigger. But yeah, and also I think it is worth noting that online, if I sort of hold this up to show you, it is literally the size of a 4-pan MAC shadow. That is what the size of this is. It looks bigger online than what it actually is, but you still get quite a lot of product, so I won't worry about it too much. And also the shadows in here are a lot closer together than they are in here. So, but actual pan size wise, the look of it is very similar. So if I say to you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I tell you what number I'm using, because these don't have a name on the back, I'm going to be using sort of like the bone colour, which would be number 6 if we're using my method. Just popping that literally all up to the brow, all over the whole thing. And then I'm going to get a blending brush and I'm going to take what I would call number 8, which is sort of this sort of desert tan colour. I'm going to pop that in the crease. This brush I love, it's by Real Techniques. I've been using quite a lot of Real Tech brushes recently. This is from their Powder Blue collection. But yeah, this palette is literally 8 shadows matte, 1 shadow textured, like her signature textured shadows, which is a good ratio for me because I'm a big matte eyeshadow lover. Right, now that I've blended that in, I'm going to go for a little bit of number 9 and number 3, which is sort of 2 red colours. One's sort of like more of a brown, one's more of a red. Dab into both of them. And I'm using the same brush as well. Then I'm just going to take MAC 217 and sort of blend just all over really, just to make sure there's no harsh lines. I haven't worried too much about how sort of coherent I am on the lid, because I am going to take my finger and shade number 5, which is the gold sort of shade in the middle, which is the texture shadow, and just dab that all over my lid. These shadows, these texture shadows, definitely I would recommend using your finger for, and then sort of finessing the outer edges with a brush as opposed to putting it on with a brush, just because that's how they work best. Right, I'm going to put some liner on off camera. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D one as always, and I'll be right back. Moving on to lashes, I have a new mascara here. This is by L'Oreal as well. This is the Paradise Extatic. Yeah, Paradise Extatic mascara. Basically their version of the Better Than Sex, even with the brush wand, I think is very similar, and sort of the packaging. That's just what I think. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this mascara. I love the roller lash, and I know I've mentioned that before a bunch of times, but actually I just wanted something different, and this is it. I'm loving it. And it's not that expensive either. Cool, and that's what that mascara looks like. Quite like it. And now I have 3 lip choices to talk about. I've got 2 of the new Jeffree Star family collection lips. I've got Nathan and Wifey. Listen, please tell me not to buy any more of the Jeffree Star nude colours. I just don't get on with them. This is Nathan, which is sort of the terracotta nude. Like, I was done with them beforehand, and then these came out and I thought, oh, do you know what, this really is up my street, so I'll try it. I'm just not reaching for it. I am really loving Wifey though, which is this sort of like deep red colour. It is a little bit deeper than Red Rum, not as deep as Unicorn Blood if you're au fait with the Jeffree Star colours, but I have worn this out a couple of times and I do really like the wear time. But yeah, just the nudes. It would go really well with this look too, but I don't reach for it. Anyway, the colour I am going to put on today is actually from ASOS. This is their own brand stuff. All their stuff comes in this fun little packaging. And this is one of their lipsticks. This is in Steely, which is a very... I have fucked this lipstick. When the fuck did I do that? Anyway, this is sort of a very similar colour to Nathan, but in a lipstick form. One thing I will say is I did actually order their translucent powder as well. As I said, I was kind of like in the market for a new powder. This is loose in here, hun. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's why that's like that. Okay. I did order their powder, but I actually had to send it back because it came smashed. I did like swatch it a little bit. Like, I mean like smashed. It wasn't even just like a crack in it. Like, it was like smashed up. And I did actually ask for it like an exchange, but I just got a refund. Anyway, so I'm going to put this lipstick on if it's going to behave itself. Oh, I think it's like literally the change in weather. Cool. There's lipstick. That is everything from me today. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Read that Glossier blog post if that's something that you're interested in. And yeah, I shall see you soon. Bye!